Since she was just a child, Serafina had known only cruel laughter and malicious comments. Her life had always been marked by a physical disability and abandonment. Before starting the story, I invite you to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any of our stories. Found in front of a convent, wrapped in a worn blanket, she had been welcomed by the nuns. She had never met her parents or felt the warmth of an embrace. Since she had opened her eyes to that cold and indifferent world, she had been left to her fate by parents incapable of facing the responsibility of motherhood and fatherhood. Serafina was discovered on a rainy day when her crying echoed through the corridors of the convent. A nun ran to see who it was, and there, outside the door, she found the little girl, visibly different. Her right leg was shorter than her left. Perhaps it was this very peculiarity that pushed her parents to leave her, unable to handle her condition. And so, the convent became her home. The convent was an austere place, with cold stone walls that seemed to reflect Serafina's loneliness. While the other children were accompanied to school by their parents, she faced the journey between the convent and the institute alone, the target of cruel jokes from her classmates. Her physical differences were a source of mockery and derision, and Serafina became accustomed to hearing the laughter and malicious comments behind her. Raised within the walls of the convent, Serafina was educated by nuns who prepared her for a life of devotion. However, deep down, she felt that this destiny did not belong to her. Often, in moments of reflection, she dreamed of a different future, far from the prayers and daily routine of the convent. One day, while browsing through a local magazine, something caught her eye, an ad offering work as a housekeeper on a nearby farm. The position also promised accommodation, and for Serafina, this was an opportunity to chart her own destiny. The next day, with her heart in her throat, she went to the Mother Superior to ask permission to resolve a personal matter. With some reluctance, the nun granted her permission to go away for a few hours. Serafina, with determination, set out for the farm. Her physical difficulties made the journey long and tiring, but when her strength was about to abandon her, a horse-drawn cart stopped alongside her. The driver, a kind-looking young man, offered her a ride. Arriving at the farm, Serafina found herself in front of an imposing house, very different from the simplicity of the convent. As she approached the main door, she was greeted by Emilio, a boy from the farm. His attitude was brusque, and he immediately questioned her suspiciously, "How will you work here? You can barely walk." Serafina looked him in the eye and with firm determination replied, "I know I can do this. This is my chance, and I will prove that I am worthy of it." Emilio, after a moment's reflection, agreed. "You'll start tomorrow." The next day, Serafina showed up at the farm ready for her new job. Even though the owners were away, she made an effort to keep the farm clean and welcoming. Every morning, before the sun even rose, she got up and began her tasks. In between cleaning, she found time to take care of the plants that adorned the property, enjoying the tranquility of the place. One day, while exploring an old abandoned barn, she discovered something that made her jump: an easel, canvases, and paintbrushes. Serafina immediately remembered the art classes she loved as a child, when she could give vent to her creativity. She decided to try painting again. She found inspiration in the surrounding farm, with its towering pillars and lush gardens. While she was painting, Emilio found her and, looking at the painting, seemed impressed. However, with his usual brusque attitude, he told her to leave everything in order. The next day, as the owners were about to return, Emilio had an accident. He spilled some paint on the living room wall. In a panic, they tried to fix it, but nothing seemed to work. It was then that Emilio had an idea. "We will hang your painting above the stain. No one will notice." Serafina hesitated, but finally agreed. When the owners arrived, the work immediately attracted the attention of the guests, who were struck by the beauty of the painting. One of them even asked who the artist was, wanting to commission a work for his farm. The owner, initially confused, then realized that the painting was of great value. The next day, he called to talk to her. "I heard that you painted that picture. I would like to keep it and pay you for the work." Serafina, surprised and moved, accepted. That day, her life changed. Thanks to her talent, she began to receive commissions, and in a short time, her fame spread. Serafina, the girl who had faced loneliness and physical difficulties, found a new purpose and a life full of opportunities. Serafina, sitting in the light of the sunset, watched with satisfaction her latest paintings drying. It was incredible to think how much his life had changed in such a short time. What once seemed like an inevitable fate, loneliness and resignation, had transformed into an opportunity for personal and artistic growth. For the first time, he felt that his talent had a purpose, a reason to exist. "Who knows what else awaits me," she thought, while staring at the vibrant colors of her works. Her hands, stained with paint, were now the symbol of her new identity, no longer the abandoned and mocked girl, but a woman who had chosen to believe in herself, despite everything. If this story moved you, leave a like and share your thoughts in the comments. In your opinion, would Serafina have found the same courage without Emilio's help?